The Special Investigating Unit has recovered over 33 million rands from Northlink College in the Western Cape. This was part of its investigation into corruption at the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, NSFAS. It's alleged that the institution received more than 33 million rand from NSFAS that was not allocated to students between 2017 and 2021. The college had then invested the funds without authorization. To tell us more on this development, I'm joined now by SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago, who finds himself in Parliament in Cape Town this afternoon. Mr. Kganyago, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time. Just tell us about this case. In your statement that has been released a short while ago, we are talking about an amount of just under 33.5 million rand. How did this amount end up in the hands of Northlink College, and why did you investigate them?
Thank you very much, Braden. We got the proclamation, if you remember, that was in August of this year. That is proclamation R33 of 2022, wherein we were going to look into the affairs of NSFAS, and we started looking into some of the documentation and where the money went. And one of the first places that we could see was the Northlink College, and we found that there was money given to them, and this money was never allocated to students from 2017 to 2021. And what they did with the money was to put it in the bank, and then it just gave them interest, and they used the interest for other things. Therefore, we then went to them and we said, this is the issue, and we discussed with them, and then they clearly indicated to us that that was the case, and they said they will transfer that money to our trust fund, and as we speak, the money is transferred to the trust fund of the SIU.
Does this 33.4 million rand include the said interest that was earned between 2017 and 2021 when it was invested without authorization by Northlink College?
No, the 33.489 million is what was given to them as is. We are at this point as the SIU trying to quantify the interest that they might have benefited from, and we are going to expect them to then pay it back into the SIU before it can be taken back to NSFAS.
Has your investigation at this stage revealed why Northlink did not allocate the funds to the students? I mean, I understand that it is a TVET college that gets funding from NSFAS. Now, it has 33.489 million rand. It is not allocated to students, but it's invested. Why did they do that?
These are some of the things that we are looking at. If you can see, the proclamation was only done almost at the end of August. We only had September and October to investigate. Therefore, we are looking in all of those. The other thing that we are going to look at is why was this money transferred to them if there were no students that had applied? Because that is what this thing implies. Because there should have been students who have applied and were accepted for them to allocate a certain amount. How did they come to this figure if there were no students that it was supposed to be allocated to?
Okay, so the R88, the proclamation R88 of the end of August will allow you as well to investigate the management or mismanagement of the funds by NSFAS on its own.
Yes, that's one of the things that we are going to do, Braden. We're going to look at the management of their finances, but we also going to look at how they give the funding, whether it is loan or whether it is bursaries. We want to see how it was done, because there were many allegations that came our way. For example, that there are people who are able to afford, who are business people, but their children are going to school with NSFAS money. And we want to understand how did they come to that kind of allocation. Therefore, money is there, but it is not used for what it was intended for.
Okay, so you say in your statement this is the first actual recovery of government money since that proclamation R88 of the end of August. Is that in your investigation with NSFAS? And when do you expect you to conclude the investigation into the interest part? Because that as well will have to be paid back.
But definitely that one is going to be done very quickly. Our accountants are working on it, and we will deal with that. Yes, this is the first one because, like I said, this proclamation was done 2 months ago or so. Therefore, we this is the first recovery, but we think that is going to be the first of many to come, because there is a lot of things that we are following up in relation to other institutions, be it TVET colleges, universities, and so on and so on.
So there's still more as you continue the investigation. Finally, Ntate Kganyago, before I let you go, I know you're very busy there in Parliament this afternoon. Do you foresee, like normally after you've done these recoveries and you've frozen assets as the SIU, that there could be criminal proceedings flowing out of your investigation that you would hand over to the NPA?
No, definitely. In some of the instances, we find that there's collusion and criminality. And even in this case, if you find anything of that sort, we are going to make sure that we refer that to the National Prosecuting Authority. We are working very well with them, as you might have seen now. In some of the recoveries that we do, we work with the Asset Forfeiture Unit of the NPA to make sure that as partners in the law enforcement agencies, we are seen to be doing this to make sure that we get to the bottom of it, be it criminal or be it civil.